Hi everyone, Katarina here. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I'm going to show you how I made this super lovely, whimsical kind of feel to it birthday card. I really love how it turned out. Now, I was inspired by the background that I made and I wasn't sure where it was going. I got some new products that I never used before, and these are the Cosmic Shimmer Pixie Burst powders. And I was just playing about with some of the colors, and I really loved the background that I created with two of them, which I am going to show you in this video. And then that inspired the whole theme for the card. It was just by complete chance that I had the same colors of embellishments in the highs here in my stash. So I was really pleased with how this card had turned out. I used Chloe's Creative Crafts products for the frames and the dies and the stamps, and also the crystalline glitter, the gorgeous sparkle all around that large frame there. So I'm very excited to show you this card. I really hope you like it too. I think it's very different. I think it's really stunning. I love the contrast of those darker colors against the white. I think it's just perfect. So let me show you how I made this one. So there's a few things that I used from Chloe's range, and one of them was the Blooming Border set, which I used on a card before, and they were absolutely stunning. Go back and watch it if you wish, if you're interested in. Now, I've used quite a few bits of here, and I will walk you through as I'm going to put the card together. I've used the floral lace background, which gives such a beautiful background. It's so lovely and so detailed. I absolutely adore this. Okay, I've used the Summer Flower Trio, which I'd used before in tutorials, and again some of the elements of the dazzling foliage, and I will walk you through it exactly as I am making them. Okay, so the card base we need is an 8x8 card base. I don't have an 8x8 card base in my stash, so I cut a piece of cardstock that's 8x8, and this is heavyweight 300 GSM cardstock, and the other one that measures 8.5 by 8, and on the 8.5 an inch I score at 0.5 inches, just like so. Oops. And I'm going to add my glue to this flap. Okay, so first of all I'm going to show you how I created the papers that I used, the background and for the flowers as well. So I'm just using a sheet of these watercolor cardstock pack. I got these on Amazon quite a while ago, because I haven't used it all that much. I'm quite new to experimenting with any kind of mediums like this. So the products that I used are, and I have in my ice cream tub, I have a few different ones in here. Is the Pixie Burst by Cosmic Shimmer, and I have quite a few colors in here. I'm not going to walk you through them all now, but the colors that I used for this background were Very Berry and Making Waves, and I also used the Purple Rainstorms Pixie Sparkles. I will use that at last. Now, I really wasn't sure what way this will work out. As I said, I'm quite new to using anything like this, but what I did, I just added this to the dry cardstock. Okay, so just in blotches. This one is the Very Berry one, and I just add some big blotches. This is very pigmented, so you don't need to add a lot. And then some of the blue ones, the Making Waves. I use two colors that I know if they mix, they will still make a lovely color together. Didn't want to go very muddy, so I just stuck with the two colors, because again they have so many other colors bursting through them. Now I'm going to take my spritzer, and this is just water. I'm going to add, you see how it all comes to life. It's just gorgeous, and the more water you add, the more they will start to mix. Now if you add less water, can you see the effect that you're getting? It's just so stunning. Honestly, I have so many ideas for different things that are coming up now, but for this technique I wanted to go in and add more water, so just let those colors mix in nicely together, kind of like a water wash. Okay, going to just try to straighten this out a bit. I should have spritzed the back side of the cardstock with water before I started. So, and then I actually, and then what I did, I took a bit of a Pixie Sparkle. Now if you want, you can add more color to this. I took my Pixie Sparkles, and this is the Purple Rainstorm, and this is just going to add such a lovely sparkle to it when this dries, obviously, because we have to set this aside to dry. And I would set this, I don't know, I really don't know how long this needs to dry for. I dried them overnight. Okay, so the magic of recording. Obviously I didn't add as much water to this one as I added the one that is already dry, so this is the difference. You see that? It's just, it makes such a gorgeous effect. I will set this aside in a minute, but just, can you see, I hope you can pick up on some of that sparkle in there that from the Purple Rainstorm is in there. I think this is just stunning. It's such a lovely background, and I absolutely adore the colors. Now I will show you, I was experimenting with some other colors too, and this was the let me see, green jasper and orange slice, and I got this here. Now I'm not too crazy about this side, but see, all this here is just so gorgeous. So I definitely will be experimenting and finding my ways with this, because I love them. I really do. Okay, so the next thing I did was cut out this frame. Now this mirror cardstock is just so gorgeous. It is this very deep purple. I got this on eBay quite a while ago and I never got to use them. In fact, I forgot about them, but they're so beautiful. I will find out the name and I will link it or put the name at least to the description box below for anyone that is interested. It is really such a lovely deep color. Okay, so to cut out the frame I used the largest one of the square Creative Craft Product nesting dies, but if you don't have them, you can just cut out a square that measures 7 3/4 of an inch. Okay, to cut out the middle of that square I used this one from the Blooming Border set. Okay, and there's a reason why I use this one. I was gonna go with one of the smaller ones from this, but then I changed my mind, and it is because I'm going to layer up this on top of that frame, and to cut out this border, this lovely gorgeous floral border, it is this one and the largest ones of the Blooming Border set dies that I used. And I decided that this time I just want the purple to sit on the outside of the floral frame. This way there's no little bit of an overhang of a purple on the inside, if that makes any sense. Okay, so first of all I want to add a bit of a glitter to these blooming floral frames, and it is going to be Crystallina from Chloe's Creative Cards. The culprit for this bruise on my hand. It fell behind my table and it was a bit of a struggle for me to get it out, but couldn't leave it there, could I? Okay, so that's it all glittered up. I went back and I added glitter everywhere, even to that way thin border in there, as opposed to where I started off just on the edges of the frame. I think it just gives a nicer, more even coverage, and I think I just prefer it this way. Okay, so now I'm going to glue this on top of this here, and I'm only going to be adding a bit of glue, this out of the way, just all on the inside of that frame. Okay, so I'm just going to take my quick grab glue just like so. How gorgeous does that look? I already love it. So I'm going to take my card base and I'm going to glue this on top of it, but I want to add this a little bit of a dimension. So you can use foam pads, foam strips, whatever it is that you have handy. What I like to use is these chipboard pieces, and these are just out of my stash. Really, I just keep all the scraps that I have left over from previous projects, and I just cut these into thin strips, and I made them a bit thinner than the frame itself. So this is about 1/2 inch, so I just made this 3/8 of an inch, and I'm going to glue this onto the back of it, just okay. So then once that's done, I went ahead and I took this die set and I've cut out with the lovely floral frame the same deep purple cardstock, okay, and from white cardstock with double-sided sticky tape attached to the back, I've cut out this gorgeous floral lace backdrop. I think it is just so lovely. It's so intricate. It really is gorgeous. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that cardstock that I made for the background and I'm going to back this floral lace on it, just like so. So this here is 4.5, yeah, around 4.5, just a tiny bit over 4.5. So I'm going that looks gorgeous. Now this is gonna go in the middle line here. I wonder, should I go like this or at an angle? I might just go at an angle like so. I'm going to glue this straight onto the cardstock with my cola glue. So this bit here at a kind of an angle, as much of an angle as I can get out of it, is gonna go straight onto the card base, okay, using my cola glue. Okay, so for this piece here I cut out a piece of chipboard. Now this chipboard is much thinner than what I've used in there. It's probably half, not even half of that width. Okay, so this one is not going to raise this middle bit up as much as the frame, the whole frame is raised up with. This is much less. So I'm going to take my cola glue. I'm actually going to glue this to here. For this bit I'm just going to use my hot glue gun. Just like so. So for the flowers I used that exact same cardstock as I used for the background behind the floral frame. So this one here is just so gorgeous. 2 layers of that cardstock heat embossed with white embossing powder, and then a layer of vellum heat embossed with the white embossing powder. And I just used crystalline glitter on the top 2 layers there. The little bit in the middle of the flower are these here, and it's the blue ones that I'm using. These came in the same packet of an eBay seller quite a while ago. Can you see the gorgeous colors that are shining right through them? Yeah, absolutely stunning. And they just come in little bags like in here, and there's silver ones in this packet as well. I think this was just perfect for these flowers. I also have a packet of little love hearts. And they came, I think, from exactly the same seller quite a while ago, these little hearts, and I'm going to be using these on my card as well. To make the flowers, I'm going to use my heat embossing body on the cardstock, and I'm going to take the Summer Flower Trio stamp and die set, and I'm going to take, I'm gonna use the middle one here. Wind it up on the little stamping block, and with my Versamark ink, I'm going to stamp this twice. And I'm just using white super fine heat or embossing powder. So I'm also prepping a piece of vellum, and I'm going to take that same stamp with the Versamark ink pad. And I'm just using my heat tool, I'm going to heat set these both. Listen, you can use your matching dies to cut these out, or you can just cut them as I'm doing. Okay, so once these are cut out, all I'm going to do is just pinch down kind of in the middle of the petals just a little bit, bend the two sides of each petal kind of upwards. Just pinch down in the middle of the petals, bending them upwards. I'm going to take one layer of the cardstock and the vellum, and I'm just going to add a few little lines, and that's just really following the pattern already on those petals. And to take the Crystallina, it is a gorgeous, gorgeous glitter. And over this one too. To assemble the flower, I just add a bit of glue in the middle of the base layer. I'm going to add this next layer, offsetting the petals. Pressing down, just pressing down on it a bit. Another layer of glue and the vellum layer. This looks so gorgeous. I love the white against those darker colors there. It just looks so lovely. So I'm going to add a bit of a glue, just a teeny tiny bit in the middle, and I'm going to add my bead. There we go. So I'm gonna set this aside to dry. Once it dries, it will dry completely clear, and it will look something like this one. Okay. So another thing we need to heat emboss, I'm going to use for a foliage, is this here. So again, I'm using vellum for that one too. And from the Dazzling Foliage stamp and die set, I'm using this stamp in here. This, oopsie, the berry-like foliage. So the embossing powder I used in here is this gorgeous purple one with the lovely colors right through it. Perfectly matches the theme of this card, I think. I've had this embossing powder for a while, and I used it in a recent card make that I uploaded here onto YouTube. It's called Tickle, and it is so gorgeous. It really is nice. So and now to decorate this, I'm going to pick out a lot of these all different sizes of the purple little bits, and I'm going to add them all to that foliage as well. Now, so I picked up some of the purple and some of those blue ones. The blue ones will be going onto this bottom branch, which I will be cutting away and placing elsewhere on the card. So this is my card base, opening the right way, just checking. Okay, so I'm going to use these gorgeous flowers. I love the contrast of the white and the dark. It just looks so lovely. Okay, something like this, I think. And I'm going to use thin strips of lightweight cardstock. I just took my trimmer and I cut them into teeny tiny wee strips. I think this was like 150 or 170 GSM cardstock, but I've done this with copy paper before. I absolutely love using this on my cards. I actually have a tutorial, I think, for embellishment making where I explain in more depth about this. I will link it below if anyone would like to check out. So I'm just going to cut the ends off and I'm going to kind of layer up on where I want them to go. Take a bit of hot glue and just press them down in it. And there we go. Okay, so just using a bit of double-sided tape, I am going to layer these up against this lovely shiny cardstock, and I'm just going to give it a very, very thin border. And this will spell out "Make Today Magical." And these were stamped from Chloe's birthday sentiment builder, and it was these two: "Make Today Magical." I took some of the cardstock that I had made previously and I heat embossed it with white embossing powder. Okay, so what I'm going to do, just adding a tiny bit of these foam pad strips just to the bit that will be overhanging in there, just to make up for the difference in the height. Alright, so far I'm really pleased with how that looks. I think it is just stunning, gorgeous. So I'm going to add some of these gorgeous heart-shaped little beads, and I'm just going to add them here and there, just fill up some of these little spaces. So this is it, the card ready. I think it's lovely. I really enjoyed making this one, from the technique of making the cardstock, the background, to everything on this card. I absolutely loved it. I love the new blooming frames from Chloe's Creative Cards collection, and I love the flowers. I'm quite new to these flowers. It's not that long ago I ordered them off Craft Stash, and I'm just happy how it all worked out, that the beads that I had in my stash actually matched the color theme just so perfectly. I absolutely love this card. It's huge, 8 by 8, and it's magical. I'm going to print out my message for the middle, and I might actually even add some of the die cuts from here, like Fabulous or the birthday in there, or heat emboss it. I think that would work it perfectly if I went with the Tickle embossing powder. So I really hope that you like this card as much as I do, and if you enjoyed today's tutorial, please give me the thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I have so many lovely other videos coming up yet, and your support really helps me keep going. So thank you very much, and until the next time, bye!